Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Um, Today I'm going to do an individual and general tarot reading for Minhyuk of MONSTA X, because he was on my list a while ago and I wanted to do him before I start the other series, the 3 months predictions, that I will start this series I believe on the weekend. So I have like a whole week to actually do those in a series, and I didn't want it to get mixed up with other people's requests, because I do have a few to do. Let's talk a bit about Minhyuk's energy. He is a Scorpio with a moon in Gemini. I believe his Venus is in Libra and his Mars is in Scorpio. So yes, he's very interesting. There's something about his energy that just lets me know that he's very smart. I mean, they are all smart. Of course, they are all very talented and smart people. But there's something about me connecting with his energy and being like, oh, this guy has like a really interesting mix of energies within himself, in a sense that he's a shapeshifter, he's someone that he's really clever. He's very intelligent and he uses this for his advantage. Probably he's very humble about his achievements, but he is, I don't know if he has like a really high IQ or something like that, but it's not. He's an interesting mix of being intellectually smart, and also having the capacity of absorbing a lot of information. But at the same time, there's something about him being really intuitive. So it's like he knows things beforehand. He knows things. He is very intuitive. So he sometimes predicts things that are going to happen. But he's really wise because he doesn't show his power, in a sense that he doesn't show that he has that ability. But if you know him or if you had observed him, there's something about him that he's the kind of person that he will show you sides of himself that he thinks that suits him the best, in the sense that he will get a benefit out of it. I think that he is someone that is very sweet, is very loving towards the fans, but at the same time he puts a certain limit. Like, you cannot cross that limit. He can be really outgoing, he can be really funny, and always willing to make a conversation or to interact with people. But there's also a side of him, there's a sort of energy about him that is like, don't get him upset or don't make him like feel uncomfortable, because he will it's like it seems like he is this sort of person that whenever he is in an uncomfortable situation or he's surrounded by someone that he doesn't like, he just cuts that person out of his life. It seems like he's very determined when it comes to who belongs to his life, who he pays attention to, and who he doesn't. He could very easily give the cold shoulder to someone that he doesn't have interest with. He is very determined in that sense, and I think that this he had he had learned to do this without feeling guilty, because of a lot of people trying to be intrusive in his life, and I think that he he doesn't enjoy that. There's something about his energy that is very challenging, that he is the sort of person that if you tell him to do something, he will probably do the opposite of what you are requesting him, because he's sort of he's sort of a wild child, he's but he has like different shades of himself. It's like he is a mystery. There's something about him, but he is this sort of mystery that it's a bit scary. I don't know how to say it, but it seems like it's it's like you can play around with him, you can tease him, but you don't go too far because he will put you in your place right away. There's something about him that is really interesting. Um, so let's go with the archetypes that he got. He got the archetype of the goddess, the mentor, and angel, the archetype of the angel. Very lovely. Yes, starting with the archetype of the goddess, I didn't have the chance to. I'm still learning their names. I think I have observed them in some videos, but I'm still figuring out who is who. It's like there are members that their faces are very distinctive, so I know who is who. But I think that in the case of him and Kihyun, I confused them both. Um, so yeah, yeah. It's like I don't know who I'm watching when I'm observing them, but also because they have very similar energy. Maybe because they are both a Scorpio, or they both have like very strong Scorpio placements. So there's a sort of like it seems like they're like twins or something like that. Um, but he got the card of the goddess, so there's something about him like actually he feels really good in himself, in his skin. He likes the way he looks, he takes care a lot of his image, and he just knows that he has the charms. He knows that he's charming, he knows that he is seductive, and he plays a lot with that. I think that he also loves to look good. I think that he's someone that he just loves beautiful things. He loves harmony. He loves to be well dressed. There's something about him loving beauty very much, and also that he feels really good with his image. There's no resentment, or there's no like I don't feel like he has like a low self-esteem or something like that. I actually think on the contrary that he's really comfortable with himself. It's like he doesn't mind to show himself. He's very attractive, and at the same time he feels really good being him. I think that he knows that he is very seductive, or he knows that he has this sort of charm that people just cannot stop like staring at him. So he just has fun with it. He has fun. The goddess archetype is someone that it feels good being in their skin. They probably feel really proud of the way they look. And it's not about looks actually. It's more about you watching yourself in the mirror and being like, oh yes, I look good today, or like you actually connecting and recognizing yourself in the mirror, because sometimes we do have like this very different view of ourselves when we see each other, when we see ourselves in the mirror. It seems like we have a hard time like realizing that this is our image, that this is how people view us. So sometimes we're like, oh, I look like this. I don't know why. I don't know if some people have this sort of moment of awkwardness when you look at yourself in the mirror, and sometimes you don't recognize yourself. And it had happened to me a few times. I'm like, oh, this is how I look. Like probably because I don't like to look at myself in the mirror that much. So probably that's that. But in his case, I can see him like totally like admiring himself, and be like, oh, I like myself. I like the way I look. Like I like, and him like also like being positive about him, like appreciating himself. And this is very important, especially since he's an artist and since his image is very important for his job. I think that it's really nice that he he feels very satisfied with the way he looks. Um, and then we have the mentor. Yes, I think that he could potentially be someone that he gives a lot of good advices about anything. Actually, I think that he's a really good communicator. I think that this is one of those traits that it could always put him in this sort of mentor stage, because he's really good with words. He just knows how to impress people, or make like a strong influence or impact on people. Sometimes he could be talking about the most random things or superficial things, but actually there's a meaning behind all of this. He's very wise. This is why I think that he has the potential of being this shapeshifter, where you sometimes can get a bit um, like amazed and a bit shocked about how deep he is, and sometimes about how funny he is, because there's a bit of irony inside of him, a bit of dark humor. So sometimes he can be talking about something really deep, and then all of the sudden saying a kind of joke. So it's a bit confusing, but this is the way he is. He doesn't take himself very seriously, but he's just comfortable with being who he is. He knows that in his complexity, uh, he has he just knows things. He's very wise. He's very observant. It's like he's someone that always has information ahead of time. He's always one step ahead of people, and I don't know how he does it, but he does have this. And this could also turn him into a mentor. And I think that when it comes to, he could actually give a good life advices. I don't know why, but I think that he could give like a lot of advices in a general way, because he could talk about self-esteem, he could talk about life experiences, he could talk, I don't know, about science, about art. His mind is very complex, so he can come and go through a lot of matters or themes that you can talk. The really exciting thing about him is that he's someone that you can talk to about several subjects. He knows a little bit about everything, so it's really interesting to listen to him. And then the angel, yes, it's like I have the feeling that his character is a bit mischievous, because you never know what you're going to get with him. But at the same time, he does have the archetype of the angel. So he does, at the end of the day, he does put other people's needs before his. He is very generous, even though he does have these moments where he can be very dominating, and you're like, okay, I don't want him to get mad at me, or like he's a mystery. It's like you never know which string he's going to be pulling, but then at the end of the day, he's just a simple guy. He's simple. He loves to help others. He loves to be there for others. He cares a lot for other people, so he's very generous. It's just that he likes to test people. He doesn't show his true colors right away, because he wants to see if you are worth it, of his trust, because he does take this very seriously. This is why he can seem a bit like that, like I was mentioning, this shapeshifter. It seems like you never get to know the real him, but it's because he's somehow distracting you, so he wants to know if you're really paying attention or not. So, and he's also very playful. There's something about his energy being really playful. So, I think that the archetype of the angel definitely can let you know that inside of all those, of his status and him being famous and him having different hobbies and him being really smart, on the inside, he's an angel in the sense that he's really sweet and he really worries about others, and he's not self-centered at all. But he does love himself, which is very important, very important. So let's go with the tarot cards that he got. He had the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands in reversed, the Two of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, the Eight of Wands, the Three of Wands, the Queen, the Princess, I'm sorry, the Princess of, this is not a princess. Oh, I get it now. I get it. But there are a lot of people. I'm sorry, guys, that I'm getting this the wrong way. I thought that the first one was the Queen of Wands, but it's because it has long hair. It's a king. It's a king. The one that is in reverse next to the Queen of Swords. It's a king of swords. Of wands, I'm sorry. And then we have the Eight of Wands in the middle, the Three of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Five of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Magician. So, and you know, it's funny because when I was shuffling and when I put this spread, I was like, oh, there are so many queens here. And there could be princesses, but actually princesses of a suit, they are not on thrones, they are on different sceneries. So I was like, why is here two princesses of wands, two queens of wands? And it turned out that the first one, it's a king, the one that is in reverse. So I do apologize for the mistake. But nevertheless, despite of all this confusion, there is a lot of people here. So what I'm seeing here, honestly, guys, is that this is talking to me about his love life. Like, I'm not intending to read about this, but this is what it's showing me. A lot of drama, a lot of drama, a lot of like, I don't know if there are two females here, like one from the past or one that is about to become the past, and one that is coming her way in the future or near future, very near future. So, but you know, it's funny because even though I see the females here and I see him like here represented by this King of Wands in reverse, you know, this is what I was saying about him, that he is like this sort of shapeshifter, because you can see how he tricked me into thinking that the first card in reverse, I thought that it was a Queen of Wands in reverse, and no, it's a King of Wands in reverse. So this card represents him, and the first card, the first Queen of Swords, represents the other person. But the card that represents him is the one that confused me in the beginning, and at the same time he is in reverse. So see, he does have this sort of trickster side of him. He confuses people. I don't know why, but he tried to confuse me here. Because I was like, oh, so much queens here, like, wow, so many options. And no, it turns out that it's only two queens. So let me get let me center myself. Because even though he may find it funny to to confuse people, he actually is frustrating me a bit. But I understand, like, but anyways, if I'm seeing this, it's because he's allowing me to see it. It's not that I'm like digging too deep. Yes, the first row, that it's the Queen of Swords, the King of Wands in reverse, the Two of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords. definitely is telling me that he had a sort of connection with someone, probably an earth sign. Uh, Air sign, it could be like an Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra. That this person was a bit like, I wouldn't say that this person tried to manipulate him, but she was very into communication, being very like, oh, we should talk, we should meet, we should see each other, we should keep the communication flowing. And somehow he wasn't having it. He was like, oh, I don't know if I'm that interested. I think he started to feel really interested at the beginning about this female. He really like wanted to get to know her, and he really like um, wanted to get close to her. And it seems like they were doing really well. But then all of a sudden he started to act a bit childish, because this King of Wands here is in reverse. So even though he shows himself as this very passionate lover, he is a bit confusing. Like I mentioned in the beginning, he gives mixed signs. And here with the Two of Pentacles and the Four of Swords, definitely is telling me that he had been trying to balance his personal life um, with his work, with his professional life, and somehow he's tired. And at the same time, I think that he is a bit bored of this person, or probably this person, I can see her like being really insistent or being really talkative, and trying to be really hurtful with words, and coming too strong with communication, probably being very insistent with the messages. So him being a busy person, or him being someone that, because he is like a very wild person in the sense that he is very free. So he's very free spirit. So he doesn't like people to try to control him, or to control what he does or where he goes, or he has to report himself every time, and tell her like, oh, I was doing this. Oh, like he is very independent. So, and I also think that I actually don't see any cups here, guys. So I don't think that these people are actually the love of his life. I don't see it, because I don't see emotions. But I see that he's a bit tired of this bond. So probably he is in this process of just letting herself get all upset and disappointed so she can leave, because actually he doesn't have time to deal with drama. I think that he doesn't like people that are too clingy, or he doesn't like people that just become really invasive. There's something about him that it's like I mentioned in the beginning. He will let you go as far as he wants you to go with him. You cannot force him to have a relationship, to have a conversation. You cannot force him to be what he doesn't want to be. So I think that this lady's strategy to be the dominant one here is not working out, and actually he's going to wait for her to leave on her own, to get the message that he's not interested anymore. But then we have the Eight of Wands, the Three of Wands, and we have a Queen of Wands. So I think that either he's already interested in someone new, or this person is on her way to come into his life. And he will start to think like very positive of this person, especially because this Queen of Wands is very different from the other female, from the other lady, in the sense that I think that since she is represented by the ones that it could be like a fire sign, like a Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, or having these very strong placements of fire, she will be like much more independent, like much more assertive, and also very like she will be like very focused in herself, in her business. She could potentially be someone that he has to work with. So he will have the time to observe her from afar. And at the same time, he will get really like attracted to this person because of how she manages herself, of how she works, how she manages her energy, how she's always so driven, how she's always so passionate about her work. So I think that she's someone that he could is going to work with. And I don't think she could be an idol. I think that she could potentially be also, I don't know, a producer, someone from the staff, because I can see him like observing her, watching her while she is working, and being really like interested and immersed into whatever she's doing. Like he's hypnotized by her efficiency, by how fast she resolves things. She solves things. She manages time and resources. So probably he could be staring at her from the corner of a room and being really like attracted to her doing very mundane things, like work stuff, work related stuff, very basic, I don't know, organization, cleaning. I don't know. I don't know, but he is going to be hypnotized by how resolutive she is, how she moves, and how she's so, also she's so immersed in her role or in her work that she doesn't pay attention to him. So the he has the possibility to observe her from the far, before he makes his move, because he's going to make his move, but he's going to wait for it. He's not going to be that, like, like that, like obvious. He doesn't like to be obvious. um then we have the Five of Wands, the Four of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the Five of Wands, the four. I'm sorry, it's this guy's energy. I swear, guys. You know that I always read tarot. If you are part of my channel, you know that I don't confuse cards. Even though here it's really early in the morning, I'm not sleepy, but I'm getting all my English words confused because of this guy's energy. So this is why I want you to connect with everything that I said about him. I think that he's changing somehow the way I see things. He's confusing me. There's something about his energy that he's playing with me. Um, like I mentioned, we have the Five of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Magician. So, yes, I think that I actually see him making a move on this person, but I don't see him like doing it because he's interested in her romantically, or if it's because he wants a relationship. I actually see him that he does it because he can. He has this sort of, well, he is a Venus in Libra, so he could potentially be a hopeless romantic, or have this very romantic view of relationships and connections. But I think that, um, here with the Five of Wands, definitely there's a bit of competition here. Probably he's like, um, competing with other person, and or maybe this female that he will be interested in is already in a relationship with someone else, because I see him like getting a bit upset, like probably getting rejected or something like that. So he will be a bit upset, and he will be a bit like not so happy with the result. But then he will rise up again, because we end the reading with the Magician. So definitely for him, it's not that he really wanted something serious with this person, with neither of these two females here, but he just loves to see, how um, how his seductive methods are working. And even though he he will show interest in this female, but after he finds out that he's not available, or that probably she's not interested, he will feel a bit a bit down, a bit not so happy about himself, but then he will concentrate on his business, because honestly, he has like, he's someone that he's very powerful, guys, in every aspect of his life. He's always in charge. He's always in control of everything about his life. So you don't have to fool yourself, because if he does look like an angel and probably you're like, oh, he's so sweet, he's someone that, like I mentioned, he's very dominating. So everything that he does in his life, he does it because he wants to do it. He doesn't let others control his decisions. He's someone that he's very aware that he wants things a certain way and he will not change. So I think that he's just asserting his power. He's in this and he's also very curious. He could potentially get into relationships because he's curious about knowing the other person, but then eventually he just gets bored. So this is why I don't see much cards that indicate a love feeling. I think that it's going to take a while for actually for him to find the right person for him, especially because he's not looking for this right now. He's looking actually to have fun. He's someone that he's a very passionate person. He is very probably he feels very attracted to physically to females, but I don't see him like getting like a soul connection or like an emotional connection with someone. Not yet. Because I think that he's not looking to fall in love with anyone right now. I think that he has very clear in his mind and in himself that he doesn't want to fall in love with someone because it's not the right time. I think other he has other issues that he has to solve, and at the same time he wants to do a lot of things when it comes to his career. So he is very he's thinking a lot about his career and about possibilities of him like doing some individual projects or working with a group. So even though he's having fun because he's young and he's attractive and he can do it, he can allow himself to have fun, he's not looking for love yet. And I think that it's funny because I think that the person that actually is going to be the one for him is going to be someone that he's not going to see coming. Even though he's very powerful, he's very perceptive, I think that the person for him, the ideal person for him, will come into his life without him even noticing it. Because I think that sometimes he can be like like in his false illusion of him having control over things, he sometimes doesn't see the reality or actually what's important. And I think that this person that will be very important for him will sneak into his life and he will not notice this person. And when he starts to notice this person, it will be too late because he will have already fallen in love with that person. And I think that this person could potentially be someone very different from all the other ladies that he's used to dating or he's used to conquer. I think that this female would be very different. Probably someone that is not a celebrity or someone that is very humble about her achievements. But yes, I think that let's enjoy his that he is in this magician mode. That it means that he's in control of his life, in control of his career decisions. I think that he definitely is very ambitious. He wants to do a lot of things. He wants to participate in a lot of interesting projects. So his mind is not in in love, but actually he has he had like these ladies here like trying to like get into his life, but he's at the end of the day is that he is by himself, he's by himself living his life, like he is very he's very much his own, like the person that rules his life, in this time of his life. He knows that he mustn't get distracted. He has to continue working, and he wants to keep providing for the fans what the fans want from him and from the group. I think he had made himself a promise about this, about keep working, keep putting the effort, keep showing up. I think that he doesn't want to get distracted by anything. He wants to have fun because he's obviously a very passionate person. He's very handsome from what I can see. He doesn't have an issue about like attracting people into his life, but at the same time I think that his mind and his soul is elsewhere. He's very much strong and firm about him wanting to become more successful in his professional life. So maybe this is why he doesn't have very stable relationships. So yes, guys, this is all I have for him. I'm sorry for all the moments of confusion, but yes, this is his energy trying to interfere with mine. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. And if you're fans of him, I would love a feedback, please. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.